I got donuts.
Please.
Pellegrino juice.
This may be the most mediocre podcast ever.
I thought, no. I said, is it in there?
And it had knives in its hands.
Let's go. And then you leave just looking like a mess, but you didn't even do anything in that 2 hours.
So, and I remember saying, no problem, I got piano fingers, is what I said to them.
And Butters, they do nothing.
I was like, how's it going? I don't have a gun. Do you have a gun?
Oh my god, I'm crying. I really feel like I sounded pretty dumb on that last one. When I went on that whole thing, I went on a whole big rant about the clap, and then afterwards I was like, oh shit, I was wrong.
Huh?
But I don't think I was wrong, because the way I have it set up is I have to play the intro. The only way that we could do it is I'd have to have a gap before the intro starts. And honestly, I don't want to go through all that effort. So I wasn't going to do the clap, but...
So, hey, if you got a clap, you just have one.
Yeah.
Just have 3.
Have a clap session.
I usually do 3.
So, yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Go for 3. It's your thing, man. We all got
Just make it your thing and own it.
Guys,
Just own it.
Like, I don't know that I want a clap to be my thing.
There might be better options out
shitty-
there for sure, but
Yeah, I
As
feel
of right
like
now,
there's-
that's your only option. So.
Okay.
It,
Wow.
It naturally found you. So.
Good to know that's what my
That's your thing.
worth is. So you guys want the clap then?
Yeah.
yeah, have a go.
Okay. All right, we're clapping then.
I do think you're getting louder.
It's the,
Yeah.
well, I don't know.
Now you're synced. Audio's synced. We're
It's
good.
good, yeah. So
I'm glad we got there.
still in here. In the new year, we're still clapping in the podcast.
We
So
still haven't figured this thing out.
we'll get it sorted out here right away.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're back at it.
Yeah.
This time we got JR Caputo.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited to be here.
Yeah. It's EXP, right?
EXP, yeah, over with EXP now, and just a bit of a newer switch, but excited to be there, and a lot of good stuff, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think what's really cool is, like, I think you're the youngest and, like, freshest into the industry. So it's kind of cool to see, like, your take on what this industry is like. That
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, not a kid, but not up there yet. So 25, 26 this year, and newer into the industry. I think we're rolling into month 10 here and rolling in pretty strong. So it's been a great 10 months, and it's been great. You know, real estate's it's a challenging industry, but anything's challenging in life. Obviously, any industry you're going to go into, there's going to be those battles. But real estate, it'll beat you up. But it's a blast, and I think the fun part too is I've been able to kind of see in those 10 months. I started on a team. I was kind of short lived. About a month and a half, maybe 2 months, and then jumped into the solo agent, and now over at EXP, we've started a new thing over there, and it's been great. So we're really excited to get those programs out for agents and all that stuff. So
Nice.
Right on.
Well, hey, welcome to real estate.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 10 months, that's crazy. Because, like, when Justin first told me told me about you, I was, like, looking you up, and I'm like, oh, this guy's, like, looks like he's been just, like slid right in there. We've been doing it for a couple of years. Right? So when you told me that you've only been at it for 10 months, I was like, holy shit, man. You really kind of threw yourself into the fire quick. Eh?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. You know what? It's when I was doing the course, right? The good old real estate course that I'm sure, maybe some people watching or listening are doing, or it's a joy, right? Obviously, but that's when it really started. That's when I put the game plan together, put the business plan, the marketing plan, so that when you get the license, I think a lot of agents get that now what moment. You get the license, you get signed up at the brokerage, you sit there and you go, all right, and now what?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So I figured at least you can have some sort of game plan and hit the ground running, and that's what we've tried to do, and we're going to continue to try and execute into 24 and hopefully for many years.
Yeah. What was the one thing, like, jumping into the industry that, like, caught you off guard? Was there something that, like, just was surprising to learn about the industry?
Yeah, you know what? That's a great question. Something that's just maybe, the amount of, this is a good one actually, the amount of people that hold a license. I know we were chatting about it, but there's a lot of people that hold licenses, and there's a lot of competition, and the one thing that shocked me is I don't really look at it as competition. whether you win the listing or not, I wish everybody the best. I mean, maybe it's hurt me maybe a little bit in the past, it truly has, but there's a lot of agents out there that are just like ruthless. It's like, holy, like we got to pump the brakes a little bit sometimes. It's not, it's serious, but nothing's ever that serious, right? Yeah. So it's okay to smile. And like I always said, it costs you nothing to be a good person. And, there's definitely, but that goes for any industry. Like truthfully, there's good doctors, there's bad doctors, there's good lawyers, there's bad lawyers, right? And, you'll find that in any industry. But that definitely caught me off guard. There's some great friendly agents they're happy to help and they'll jump right in there. Yeah. And then there's, people that are never text me again kind of things. I've gotten those texts. So it's like, it is what it is though, right? Yeah. So, if that's how they operate, that's how they operate. You'll never change that, right? So
no, and that's just like a high emotional business, right? Like it's for sure. Some agents just like kick it off strong. It's like, hey, how's it going? You're gonna bring me an offer, and we're like, it's like whoa, just said, hey,
there's some intensity in this for sure. Yeah, I'll actually talk about that. You need to get closer to your mic because I'm not picking you up as much. It's crazy to me that you have dealt with all like so much shit like that in like such a short period of time, because most people don't even get to experience some of that stuff until like a few years into the industry, right? But you're totally right. Like it's crazy how polarizing like it can be in this industry with like the different like types of personalities that like other agents have towards the business and towards other agents and that kind of thing, right?
100%.
And the craziest thing is that we are not a super competitive market when it comes to real estate agents. Like if you compare us to like how many agents we have in Edmonton versus like Toronto or Vancouver or something like that, like we've got 4,000 agents here. Yep. That's freaking peanuts, man. Like peanuts. We're talking about tens of thousands of agents in like
over in
metropolis, right?
It's crazy.
So like imagine like how competitive they are with each other, because they're all sharing like a much smaller piece of the pie, right? Whereas here, we don't have as big of a population for sure, but I'm pretty sure like per capita it's not even close, like for how many like agents there is for people, right? So there's a lot of business, like you say, man, there's a lot of business to go around. And I think like that, there's something to be said for that spirit of abundance just in general with people, like to be like, hey, listen, like you're right, there's enough like business for all of us to succeed and make money and be able to get out there and do this. We don't need to like be so cutthroat with each other all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you said, sometimes you lose a listing and you're just like, hey, you know what? That's it. That's, it is what it is. Like for me, I got to the point where I'm like, you got to refine your own, like abilities to the point where you're like, hey, if I lose it, good for that guy, man. Because if he's better than me, like if he was able to like get that, then good on him.
100%.
I just gotta level up a bit more, right?
Yeah, you take everything as you can, I think, as like a learning opportunity, right? Yeah. If you kind of tread through life and you don't try and continue to learn all the time, right? It's always going to be an uphill battle. But no, I agree. I think it's something that I don't think will maybe ever change, but hopefully, there are agents that are willing to maybe just get a little more just relax. Like we're all trying to do the same job here, and I find it crazy too when if I bring a buyer or if I'm listing, right, and the other agent doesn't want to cooperate very much, and it's like, listen, like I need you as much as you need me here. Totally. Like let's get on the same page here. I want to make my client happy, and you know what, at the end of the day, I want to make your client happy too. Totally. So can we get on the same page? Or because some just do not want to.
What's the goal? You know what I mean? Like that's the problem. I think a lot of realtors lose sight. It's like the freaking goal, the literal end result is that a buyer wants to buy a house and a seller wants to sell it. Yep. Like they both want the same thing. Yep. Do you know what I mean? And we're making it super difficult because of like
ego.
Semantics or ego. Do you know what I mean? So it's like let's work together to get there instead of working like against each other to make 100%. This like, because like if we don't help them get there, then they're gonna get there on their own with or without us, right? Mm-hmm. So like we need to be able to be better at like just that part of the process is like working together, because you're right, man. Like as realtors, like it just in the deals that you've done, that there's a huge difference between working with a realtor where you get along and you're both trying to achieve the
best
same thing.
Isn't that the best when you get that? It's you enjoy. I mean, I always enjoy the process regardless because I can get over it pretty quickly, right? Sure. But it just makes everything. It makes it, you make that call. It's fun, It's, hey, no worries. Hey, can you do? You try and help each other and to overall help the clients, right? Yeah. So definitely when you get on that same page with the other representative, it's an awesome time, right?
Totally. Yeah.
Well, the realtor loses the relationship because they will put themselves above the client, and then at that point they're just there's zero service to it, right? Like that's a poor agent that put his feelings like ahead of what that seller is going through or that buyer, right? Because at the end of the day, like it's hard to say like we're salespeople because we're actually people that like we have to massage a deal and emotions quite a bit. Like there's like kind of like a therapist side to it, like a sales side to it, a marketing side. Like you have to kind of understand like where you are in the deal and when emotions get high and when to curb your own opinions and stuff. So it's a tricky balance. I
feel like we get labeled as salespeople a lot, but I feel like that's like the lowest thing.
I don't think I've ever sold. And I've always, again, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Very short time in this industry, but it's been a great time. But I'm a big believer. If I walk into a home for a buyer, for example, I don't think there's anything I can say to make that person purchase that home. They either like that home or they don't.
Yeah.
So where am I selling?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's what I get some buddies all the time. And, you'd be pretty good at sales. I can see you being a realtor. I don't sell.
Yeah.
No.
The last thing I'll ever do to someone is sell them.
Yeah.
There's nothing to sell. You either like the home or you don't. I can give you features. I can tell you everything about that home, but it really, I'm not going to push you into say there's no selling, right? Like it truly is.
Switching over to the listing side, right?
Yep.
Like a lot of people think like, oh, you have to sell I remember I love going into listings where they're like, how quickly are you going to sell my house? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, well, technically I'm not selling it. I'm marketing it.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like there's a big difference between what we're doing here because like I'm not in charge of like taking a product and actually selling it to somebody. What I'm doing is I'm taking a product and I'm making it look appealing and trying to give somebody the ability to come in and
to access
it and see if they like it or not like it, because there's no element. It's like you said, even as a lister, right? You're not going to make anybody who doesn't want to buy that house,
Nope.
Right? All you're doing is trying to present it in the best light to the person that matches up with, right? So there's no sales involved in that element of it.
I think the only time it really might come into play is when you're in that negotiation, right?
Yeah.
When you're going back and forth. Yeah, there's some sales tactics that you can try and use on the other side, right? But
or getting a client, like if you're trying to sell a client on your services or who you are as an agent or something like that, there might be an element of sales there.
But when it comes to the home itself, like you're not actually selling a home.
There's no product.
Yeah.
No, well, and you're not the decision maker, right?
Nope.
So like I think like our role essentially is marketing, education, and being creative, right? So we're going to market the home the best as we can with all the different avenues. We're going to educate the client, like especially if it's a buyer and they come into a property, well, us knowing if that house has poly B plumbing or something, or educating them on something about that era, that community, that's important. And then being creative can come into marketing, but also putting a deal together. It's like, hey, we have this difference of what people are asking for, so we have to get creative on how do we bridge this gap.
Yep.
So I think that's the three main areas that I look at as how we piece together this whole kind of game.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Totally. And like that's actually a good segue because like for you, creativity has been a big part of your like journey into real estate. So like you came in with, you have a marketing background, right?
Yeah. I guess a little background. I did younger again, so just went to university there, did the business marketing degree, and always have loved marketing, and I've always loved video. So once I did that, I was working for marketing agencies for a little bit, and great role, loved it, and learned a lot too. And real estate was always in the back of my head, but I've always looked at real estate as we were kind of talking about earlier, but you need to be a marketer. You need to understand how to market, how to get business, how to generate leads, right? And multiple ways to do that, right? I obviously if you've seen my social media, like we've talked about, that's one route. That's one, I talk about taps that I've turned on is organic lead generation through social media, right? So right now, I like cost low and revenue as high as possible.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
can only run that model for so long until like you do need to, start investing. But it's cost me $0. I've never spent $1 besides the equipment that I use to edit and record these videos. To reach the audience we've reached and grow the following that we've grown. So, it's sweat equity. And, when you're a newer agent or, some are even in that 1 to 3 year window, like when you have time, invest it, right?
Sure.
It's sweat equity, right? It doesn't cost me $1 to go do that stuff.
Yeah.
I know how to do it, so it's pretty easy for me. But, I've had a ton of agents reach out here in Edmonton, and I've gotten some people, they've come out, filmed with me and seen how we do it, and they're doing it now, and it's awesome. And, to be fair, I didn't, come up with the property tour idea, right? Like that's been around for long time. But I definitely,
you got your own spin.
Yeah, I put my own thing on it and try and produce high quality content. I think that's super important as well.
Well, let's talk a bit about that, because like Justin and I were talking last night, and he referred to us as like the what did you call us? The
Call
OG.
us the OG.
The
of
OG.
video
We're
reels.
like what you also called the washed up.
Oh, yeah.
So we're the washed up OG video guys who like are like have this like old product that we just like, it's like video's not like, it's not going away, and there's no real like, you can kind of bounce back and forth between different styles that you like. Some people like short forms, some people still like long form content. But like the styles of editing and that kind of thing. But like, so for you, where did you find your niche, and like, give us a little insight on like what you do, because your platform is mainly TikTok, right?
Yeah, I do post TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you can.
But
if
it's
you,
short form.
Yeah.
Vertical content.
Oh
mostly,
yeah,
right?
social media. Yeah, like so for the iPhone or Android, obviously. So, I do post on all four of those. TikTok and Instagram are probably the easier platforms to grow out of Facebook and YouTube. But so TikTok's been great. But the niche, it's just it's understanding organic, right? Because organic's is such a powerful tool, organic media, because again, it's a $0. But to understand how like what people want to watch, right? So like, people were calling it crazy. Like, I don't say my name, I don't say my brokerage at the start of the video. How are they gonna know who you are? This is ridiculous, right? Getting hammered for it, right? And they thought it was crazy, and that's completely fine. And it is a little crazy, right? Like they're like, they don't even know you're a realtor, blah blah blah, right? But that's not the goal, right? Like the goal is for them to see me as every time they open up that For You page, there's JR in this ridiculous mustache, right? Like, right there he is, right? So because organically over time, they're going to see me once, twice, 3 times. Then they're going to click my page. Yeah. And they're going to see, this guy's a real, wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I might not be buying or selling right now, but I'll at least follow. Yeah. And who knows, right? Yeah. If you're a believer that, at some point followers can become customers, which I believe in, right? Whether they're buying now or in 5 years. It's a huge opportunity, right? So
I love that. I love that mentality of like content first, like advertise, like let people find you versus like you shoving it in their face. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole idea of like self-promotion and just like, I personally think self-promotion is cringy from like the start, right? Like there's a really hard way. It's hard to do it in a way where it's not like that. Like there are certain people out there who have like done a good job with it and they can do it, which I have like tons of kudos for, because I think it's not an easy thing to do. So when you talk about that, where it's like you're just out there building like what you think people want to see, I think that's why you're so successful, is because that's your mentality. Is that you're thinking about them first,
consumer
versus
first,
you
right?
first.
Consumer first. It almost has to be, right? It almost has to be. On the as a consumer, we're so trained to run away from paid and advertisement. Like everyone watches YouTube. YouTube, for example, that ad comes on. My eyes go to the bottom right corner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Skip. I have no idea what that ad was, right? Yeah. We're trained as consumers to run. Even if you're scrolling Facebook, the minute you see something sponsored, run. Right, it's just how we are as consumers. Sure. We don't like advertisements, right? Yeah. If you go to my page, everything is technically an advertisement, right? But it's an ad kind of within an ad, right? Like I have a call to action at the end. Should we come take a look? Now, should my call to action maybe be a little bit more like direct, maybe potentially, like I could throw my number in there and stuff, but I keep it just pretty subtle. And you know what, it's worked amazing for me. But that's the one thing I also want to touch on a little bit, because in this industry, everybody's running their business different, right? So does everybody need to run around with a gimbal and a drone and do property tours to generate leads? No, right? But for someone that is just starting to try and get into this industry and maybe stir the pot a little bit and jump into it hard, I think it's a great idea. And again, doesn't cost you much, so you can generate leads, you can build a brand. And I think the biggest thing outside of the lead generation is building a brand. Having a brand, a digital brand in 2023 is incredibly powerful. It's helped me win listings. It's you can go there and you can say I will do everything that XYZ realtor is going to do on the MLS, but I'm also going to do this. Right. So it helps. Having a brand is extremely, extremely important.
So give us a little bit of insight on that. Like, what do you like if let's say there's a brand new agent out there right now that's looking to like get started and wants to brand themselves and stuff like that, like how would you coach somebody to go into doing that? Yeah,
that's actually great, because a huge passion of mine is actually getting into that field. I again, marketing guy, but I love marketing. I think the first thing to understand for any agent would be I've always had this mentality. Like, obviously we all watch content for entertainment. That's number one, but start watching content and picking it apart. Start watching it with reason and an understanding. How is this working? Why is this working? Because that's what I did, right? I sat there and started analyzing real estate content and looking what's working, what's not working, why is this working, why isn't this working, right? So start studying content. I think in any sort of thing, podcast form, whatever, study content though, right? And obviously we still watch it for entertainment because we love it, right? But I think it's a huge thing. But for anybody that like obviously wanted to do it, it's not rocket science, honestly. Like gear wise, DJI gimbal, that's gonna get you in the door. And I think there's a lot of realtors that might have one just collecting dust on their shelf. So get that thing out. But I think the hardest part for a lot of agents is wrapping their head around editing, right? I think a lot of them, they can go film, they can go understand that, but then editing a video, they're like, I don't know. Right. So, you can learn that. You can spend the time. I love editing. I've been editing my whole life. So I'm passionate about it. Right. Like I will not outsource my content as of right now because I love it. Until it gets to a point where like I can't get to the next mile because it's too time consuming, I'll outsource it. But like if agents wanted to start, actually getting into organic, because with organic, you do need to have some sort of polished content. It is pretty tough to just keep it pretty rugged. It needs to be decently polished. Right. So invest that money, right? We're all running businesses, so find the budget and invest a bit of money into outsourcing your editing and hit it hard. But I think the biggest thing too is I just was working with an agent. He was all excited. We had multiple meetings on understanding brand and how he's gonna go do this. Came out and filmed with me. He filmed his first video. He's gonna go launch it. Just pump the brakes. I said, you're gonna launch this, and then now what?
Right.
Now what? You can't go film for 2 weeks. You're like, so now what? Build up a base. Go practice a few. I didn't say like his video was great, but go film 10 more.
Right.
Maybe you'll look at that first video and say, maybe that wasn't as good as I thought.
Done this or
right?
This, right?
So and then have that batch of videos ready to go so you can hit it hard.
Yeah.
Right. Nothing worse than like someone going out and doing something that everyone's kind of like, oh, let's go. He's trying something. Okay. You wish them the best, but in the back of their mind, people are always like, ooh, that was it. Right. But then he goes ghost for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Right. That's no good. Yeah. Right. So, just take your time. And, I think the thing is with social media is it's, I got pretty lucky. I did have a strategic plan to do it, but it's a long-term play. Yeah. Right. It's to build a brand. And then obviously to lead generate from the brand is like, it's not supposed to be overnight. No. Like I've been at it really hard for 10 months and I've, generated all my business almost from social media.
Wow.
But it takes a lot of time and like I'm invested, I'm all in, right? So there's no kind of beating around the bush there. You really have to attack it hard. But like I said, it either works for you or it doesn't, right? So
what platform do you have? Like one specific platform that you feel like most of your business comes from?
TikTok, Instagram. 2024, I do have a goal on my wall. I really want to attack the YouTube space. I think it's really, really potentially there for Edmonton. I mean, YouTube is basically the second biggest search engine out there right now,
Shorts?
next to Google.
Shorts mostly?
So I do upload all of my content on Shorts, but I'm into more of the long-term stuff, right?
You
So
want to do long form content?
yeah, long-form content, and not from the viewership, like the view side or anything like massive viral views or anything, but just from like I said, it's the second biggest search engine out there, right? So if someone's considering Edmonton, when you go on Google and type in Edmonton, blah blah blah, you'll see a bunch of articles, but there's also YouTube there. Right. It comes up every time.
Right.
So if you can unlock that key for Edmonton and start ranking there, through YouTube, you know, that's another great. If anyone wants to do that, go right ahead. But you know, there's actually there's a couple agents that have done, I think, very very well and will continue to here in Edmonton through YouTube. But something that I am coming for it, and I want to. But you know what? You can only take on so much at a time. I have a ton of projects in the area and stuff, and one of those being helping agents understand organic and paid advertisement and social media.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So you're working on some of that, like as a side.
Yeah. Over obviously with the EXP stuff and stuff that's going on over there. It's something that's I'm just so excited about. Like, I love selling homes, don't get me wrong, but like I could sit here and talk to you guys for 8 hours about marketing and social media because I grew up on it, right? And I just love it, right? So I just think I just can't. There's so many agents, not just even in this market. I follow agents all over the place that you just see they're trying, right? And it's just like they're just kind of spinning their tires, right? Yeah. There's a strategic plan, whatever way you want to go, and it's not just property tours, right? Like, I don't want to just teach people. If you want to learn property tours, I got you, right? But there's so many other ways you can grow and scale on social media, organically or paid. Right. I love paid too. I think paid is a great way, but I think agents aren't as strategic as they can be, right? Like the classic static image, buying or selling, and it's them in their suit and their thumbs up. It's like, that's what we're spending $30 a day on pushing on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, that's just it though.
It's tough.
Yeah, where you say like agents are spinning their tires is like they're trying something, but they just haven't found their way or their comfort level, right? Video is so much around comfort, like to put yourself in front of a video, even though your videos are pretty simple. It's like, hey, come check out this home, it's JR. But I bet you fumbled a lot of those first clips, right? Like, like there's probably a lot of blooper reels, and that's what we actually did really big on is when we first started. Like, we're going to change the virtual or the video game. We're going to change the video game. This is how we're going to do it. And like, I can talk to you like this in front of a camera like this and on a mic. You put me in like that scenario. It takes us an hour for me to get through, like, this is Justin Griffith with the Good Real Estate Company. This is a 3-bedroom house, right? And it was so awkward and bad and take after take after take. Well, we took that content and created bloopers, which those took off.
There you
go. Those were way more interesting than the property stuff, right? Yeah. Like, for us, we were like, we love humor, right? Like, we're just big on that. That's why this whole podcast even exists. Because we like funny shit that happens in real estate. So we get people to come on and tell funny real estate stories because we realize that most people have some funny real estate stories. But like, that stuff that we did, like, we've done all kinds of dumb shit, like our videos and things like that. But like the blooper reels, like, those are so funny just because, like, it's ridiculous how many, like, when you look at like a polished video and stuff like that at the end of it, when you're actually like, okay, but you don't know what kind of shit went into this.
To get this
last cut. And some of the stuff that would happen when we were shooting, like, we would laugh so hard. And honestly, I used to love shooting those videos mostly for those moments, because it was like, I was like, this is just so funny that, like, once the camera's on you, it's almost like your brain just like leaves your body.
Oh, I know.
And you're like a different person.
You don't know, you freeze almost. You're like, your brain's not functioning.
You're like, I don't even know who I am or what to say or how to act. It's almost like you just, like, a switch flips and you're just like, I don't know what's going on anymore. And it just makes for really funny content.
Well, no, and that's I think it's the power of video. I mean, quickly just touching on the marketing side one more time here. I mean, the power of video, like, videos don't die, right? So I think like the agent, if you're looking at just agent real estate content, like the static, like, just sold, just pending, under contract, like, it's good, it has its spot, but like, if you're just littering Instagram with that, like, it's going to be really, really tough to continue to grow a brand because again, we got to think consumer first, right?
Yeah.
If consumer stumbles across your page, I mean, anybody you guys have followed on social media, I believe, has earned your follow. They're either a friend or family, or they've earned your follow. You've
Yeah,
seen
right.
something you liked, I'm going to follow this guy, right? But
Yeah.
for me, from a consumer standpoint, to stumble across XYZ realtor, just sold, just pending, just sold, just pending, why would I want now my feed littered with that? What
Right.
value does that bring me every day that this guy's selling homes, right? So the minute you can kind of flip that mindset and just go consumer first, right? You can find it, right? There's a balance. I'm not bashing static. I think there's a time
Yeah.
for just sold, just pending. Like there's
Yeah.
there's a time and place for that, right?
Yeah.
But you know, if you're really trying to scale it and grow those audiences and you know, lead gen maybe from it, it's, you know, you need a little bit extra as well.
Yeah, let's continue this. If you want to restart it, it just went out.
Did it just?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's huge. I think that.
Good so far. Are we on to something here? or-
I think this is really good.
Yeah. Okay,
We're back. Man, we're back.
Yeah, so I want to just like continue on, like, because like when I got into real estate, like I was 10 years in, and I knew right from the start like marketing was the focus. So I learned like social media ads and all that, and then just last year I got certified as a digital marketer, and so that's been huge, is understanding that and like the branding side of our business that you're not taught in real estate. You're not
No.
taught any of this. So I think when agents like focus on that, their content becomes more authentic when it is consumer first, where for a long time, and I think maybe short form has pushed people to need to be consumer first, because in the old property tour videos where they're long form, if you watch like the stats of a video, people are clicking off of that within the first 10 seconds. And that first 10 seconds is, hey, it's Justin Griffith with another house to sell you, versus you just hopping
For
in. and-
$500,000, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right?
Like,
Yeah.
because no one, again, that goes almost not putting the consumer first. That goes like putting you first. And
It is,
There's
yeah.
a time and place for the professional camera, like the beautiful property tour video,
Yeah.
the 8-minute tour, right? Where you can say that, right? It lives on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
But on those real kind of videos, like no one cares that it's JR Caputo from EXP, and today we're in Chappelle, and it's 25 degrees in Edmonton, and we're 35 seconds into the video, and I haven't shown them anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first
They're
10
gone.
seconds. Yeah, they're
Gone.
gone. And that first 10 seconds is probably the most crucial part of the video, because it's got to catch their attention
Absolutely.
in some
Yeah.
way.
Absolutely.
Where it's doesn't feel like a sales pitch is coming. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I want to see that this is going to be a nice house that I'm going to continue to watch, or something funny's going to happen.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
It's key.
That's a really good point, actually. And you've said, consumer first like a whole bunch of times, and it just made me think about actually something that I think you might have. You ever read a book called Building a Story Brand by Don
I haven't,
Miller?
no.
So I think you'd actually really enjoy this and resonate with it, because like his whole concept is just like a different approach to marketing, where you just like you look at you take yourself and you if you look at like life as a story at the end of the day, right? You watch like movies and shit like that. Like, are you a movie guy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like if you look at any story, you've got like three main characters, right? You've got your villain, you've got your hero, but you've also got your guide, right? So the problem I think with most marketers out there at the end of the day is they like to position themselves as the hero of the story, right? Where that's like an inherently wrong like position to take when you're in the story. You need to position yourself as the guide, because realistically the story is not about you. When you're in a business like ours, any type of service or product or anything like that, the story is not about you. And the people that are out there, the consumers, are the heroes of their own story. They're not looking at you as the hero of the story. They're looking at themselves as the hero. So the more we can empathize with that, the nature of that, and like position ourselves as the guide of the story, you know what I mean? We're the Obi-Wan to their Luke Skywalker. You know what I mean? We're trying to get them to the end. We're trying to get them to win. You know what I mean? So like taking that approach to it, and when you think about that and you think about like every advertisement and every marketing, and you look at it from that lens to be like, okay, are these guys actually like putting themselves in that guide role, or are they putting themselves in the hero role?
That's cool.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
that's really
like,
cool to
yeah,
look
you
at it
think
like
about
that.
it like all the realtors out there are like, look at me, I sold blah 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 blah, hero. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's me,
Hero.
it's JR. It's JR. I'm at this place. Hero. Do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
But when you
yeah.
think about it from this perspective of the guide role, where you're saying like, oh, I'm like I'm trying to like give you something of value to be able to get you there,
Yeah.
right? If you're marketing a property and you're saying like, oh, check out this property without putting your face on it first, that you're thinking about them as the hero, right?
Yeah.
So
it goes back to like any classic. You can look it up, marketing funnel, like awareness, engagement, conversion being at the bottom, right? The upside down triangle, conversion. Like all I do is build awareness and engagement, because too many, I think, marketers, whether it's real estate or anything, they're trying to jump straight to conversion.
Yeah.
Physically impossible.
Right.
Absolutely impossible. You might score 1 out of, I don't know, listed 3,000, who knows, but you can't just jump straight to conversion. That's why I went out there. All I've done is build a ton of awareness that, hey, I'm out here, this is what I do. Now I got people engaging with the content.
Yeah.
Now they like it. No, this is cool. Now I have the ability to go to conversion. But you can't just go straight to conversion.
Yeah.
Buying, selling, call me today. Just straight convert? Who are you? I have no trust in you. I have no idea. I've never seen you before. Who the hell are you?
Yeah.
You're just trying to convert, right?
Yeah.
I think it's, it's tough, right? So
Well, it's tough, but like how you touch on that too is like, so say you have 5,000 followers. Those 5,000 followers are not buying a house today. So your content is kind of irrelevant if you're showing a house. But at the end of the day, if it's entertaining, they'll watch. But the goal is and I always use this as an analogy, is social media is our bus bench in a digital form.
Absolutely.
Right? Somebody's driving by every day and they're seeing us, or they're seeing that I'm a realtor. But like subconsciously, when the time comes that they're ready to buy, we would jump ahead at that point. So the video and stuff today isn't to like convert that person today. It's just to say, hey,
Yeah.
I'm good at my job. I'm here when you need me. I hope you follow along, kind of
Yeah.
thing, right?
Absolutely.
Like it's just
Yeah.
like this little subtle and constant, like consistency is huge, right? It's like,
Absolutely.
JR put out this wicked video. Can't wait for the next one. Did he quit real estate?
yeah,
'Cause I
like
haven't
where
seen
do
him
you
for 10
go,
months,
right? Yeah, like it's,
right?
and that's I think a lot of agents that run into too. Like our lives are busy, man. Like when you're in real estate, as you guys all know, we're managing everything, right? It's more than just going to showings. Like there's always something to do. I always say that, like in the last 10 months, there's no in between. You're either working on the business or you're working in the business.
Yeah.
Right? There's two, that's your everyday thing. If you're not working in it today, if I'm not showing a home today, or if I'm not doing a listing today, I'm working on my business. That can be accounting, that can be marketing, that can be anything, but I'm working on it, right? So there's no really in between. It's really, that's the only way to really give it a good run,
crazy
right?
that you say that, on and in the business. I've been teaching realtors that for years. Like that's like the full focus of the business really
Yeah.
is like there's only those two options.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
There's always something that can be done, right? Like I don't care if it's like go follow up with a lead. I don't care if it's like cleaning out some old receipts, because like again, you got to do your accounting. You got to do, there's always something to do, right?
Sure.
So work on your business, right?
Yeah.
There's no excuse there. But I think marketing. Again, we could talk about it all day. I absolutely love it. Social media is such a powerful tool. If you can really find the time, find the commitment to get into it and get an understanding for it. I love helping anybody that like wants to. I get super pumped when I see realtors like message. They're like, I want to learn a little bit more. I'm like, absolutely. I was like, hop on a Zoom right now. I'm like, let's go. Let's talk about it.
So you don't mind if people like reach out to you and are like,
I
hey.
love it. I love it because like honestly, like when I first started, I reached out to a few people, like never really got anything back.
Yeah.
Like not everybody. There was a couple of good guys that did help along the way, but there's a few guys I really wanted to connect with and just didn't hear anything. So it's like I don't know, like I'm no pro. I'm not the best to ever do it, but like if I know something you don't, like I'm happy to help.
Well,
like I'll tell you, what the hell, I'll tell you what to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your numbers speak for itself. You know what I mean? Like you've had some success already. Like you've done something. You've proved that it works. You've made money doing it. So you have the credibility to say that you can actually have something valuable to share.
Some
right?
success doing it, so it's it's really cool, and like I said, I'm super happy to have those conversations with people and kind of show them the ropes, because like I've always said this, like you can take any online course, you can do anything, like it's only the like 1% of people that's actually going to take action and do it.
True.
Like I've had agents like that have been like dying to meet and like come shoot with me, and I'll text them, hey, I'm shooting this day, can't make it. Text them again, can't make it.
Yeah.
Well, if I really wanted to learn, what I do, and I had a guy that's saying, come film with me.
Yeah.
And he texted me twice, and I can't make it both times. Like, I get it, but like, if grandma went down that day, I understand. But then like the dog, then there's another excuse, and like, it's like, okay, like to me, I'm gonna take action. I'm gonna go.
You're
right?
doing
Like, you
it.
have to,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you're gonna go do it, right?
I think that's huge. And that's the thing is, like, I think where people just stall because they're like, I don't know what to do. I want to do this. I just don't know how to go from A to B.
Yeah.
And I think, like, if you're open to it, like, maybe because a lot of people are going to watch this and be like, I still don't know how to do what JR does or whatever. Like I just don't get it. Like what are the tools? Like what is like your tool basket? Like, hey, this is what you need. Like, hey, like I know for like some of our reels now that when you see these captions pop up on Instagram, like we just came across like an app called Captions. Which it's
great app.
Yeah. So like that's one of our new tools that's we just learned. So like there's always these little tools that are coming out, but like maybe like what is like your main basket of tools and apps that you're using?
So honestly, this iPhone right here, just until recently, so I've only posted 42 times on social media, which is also like one of the stats I think is crazy.
Holy shit, that
Wow.
is
Like
crazy.
I only have 42 posts on social media.
Oh, wow.
Over 20 million. Like it's been crazy, right? So if you take the averages across, it's nuts, right? But so yeah, for my first like 36 videos, I was using like an iPhone 11, so like 2 cameras, like 5.5-year-old phone.
Yeah.
But that's what I was using, and it worked. Right, so now I've upgraded to the 15 Pro Max, like, but iPhone, like, that's what you need, or Android. Like, I don't have no fancy camera. I mean, at the end of the day, like, this records 4K 60 frames, but when I go post on TikTok or Instagram, it's 1080, 30 or 60 FPS.
People
right?
are
Like
consuming that content on their phone.
Well, like, yeah, you can't, you know, like, they hammer the quality down anyways, right? So you don't need no fancy, like, get your phone, go and do it. The gimbal, like I said, I have a drone because I love it. I would not recommend if you're just like getting into it, like you do not need a drone. You don't need to go crazy with the drone shots. Like gimbal, iPhone, there you go. After that, I always edited on Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, because I grew up with like After Effects, Adobe Premiere. But now because I want to get into like the more, you know, helping agents and showing them how to actually do it, I've changed to CapCut.
Oh, really?
So CapCut's free. You can use it on desktop or iPhone. I edit on the desktop because I can't stand editing my video on an iPhone. A lot of people do. Whatever you're comfortable with, but it's a free editing app. And like honestly, it's probably the most user-friendly app I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Incredibly user-friendly. Like, because again, if I was gonna like help agents and show them how to edit, I was like, if an agent opens up Adobe Premiere Pro or After Effects, they're gonna be like, well, what am I looking at? Right? Like, what are we doing here, right? So I was like, okay, we got to make this easier. So I just, you know, picked up CapCut, and obviously with a background, you can, you know how to do it pretty easily. But even for somebody that hasn't edited videos, like, spend an hour a night, watch YouTube videos. Like it's not.
Are you
like
a Mac guy at all? Like have you used Final Cut ever? Or?
I started when I first started editing videos, I was a Final Cut guy, huge Final Cut guy, loved Final Cut. Obviously started iMovie like back in the day, original, right?
Yeah,
And
me too.
then went to Final Cut, and then big PC guy now.
Yeah.
I got the big setup at my house.
You're like one of those like build your own. Like,
Like I definitely like my PC and just like my setup, like a clean setup. And like I had some the other day that was like, do you want this like office space? Like you can use it anytime. I was like, look, like my setup at home, like it's like command central. Like I'm not leaving this place, right? So no, I'm on the PC side of things now. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's cool, man. That's freaking awesome to like, have that like ability to be able to, and I've actually like thought about that too, like to be able to like try to teach agents how to like a simple way to like edit videos and stuff, because I'm with you. Like I'm a Final Cut guy. I edit everything in Final Cut. I've never even like attempted to switch over to Adobe or anything like that, to Premiere. I have used what's it called, After Effects. Like I learned After Effects. That learning curve of that was insane. That was like a 3-month process during COVID. I'm like, I'm gonna learn how to use freaking After Effects.
It's just overkill, right? Like we gotta remember like what we're doing, right? So I used those softwares because like back in like high school, for example, I was saying like I was into like 3D modeling, 3D animation, like that, and that's what you use, those softwares. But like for a basic real estate reel, you don't need 3D animation, you don't need 3D text, like you don't need that stuff, right? So it's just like hammer CapCut. It has everything you need. You won't need anything ever more than CapCut, to be honest. Now that I'm over there, like I don't think I'd pick Premiere up unless like I'm doing like a movie trailer or something. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I got CapCut on my phone and I've been playing around with it more in the last few months. And it is like for like the startup, like that is so easy. They got some cool like templates. Yep. Somebody can just do like a 1 to 3 second like little video clip. That's not hard to film. Do 10 of those. You can throw it in and get some cool transitions. It makes a good story at least. A little small reel. So I do think like that's a really cool avenue to go. I do want to ask like one question, like because your growth took off in videos, but how much of the video content do you think is like the trigger, or how much of it is like what you're actually putting in, like the little blurb and hashtags? Like,
Yeah, that's a good question.
The
How
sauce,
powerful is
yeah. No,
that, right?
I, you know what? I
What's
think
the
it's like
clickbait?
there is no secret sauce or anything. Like
Right.
I do stick to the same hashtags. I stick to the same kind of come for a tour, or this is what you can get. I'd like to get a price amount in there very quickly so you can see it in the description, right? But where I spend a lot of my time, like, to be honest, one of those videos for me is anywhere from, and some people are like, what, that's how long? But it's a lot of work. Like, I'd say honestly, like filming, editing, posting is anywhere from like 5 to 8 hours per video for one of those like minute to minute 30 videos, right? So you're filming takes me anywhere from, 40 minutes to an hour, depending on the home. Like some of these $1 million big homes I've done, I've spent 2 hours filming, right? But, after that, like a lot of it's editing, like a lot of it's like nailing that first 10 seconds, making it smooth. Like I'm a big believer, like, I don't know how much this might sound crazy, but like Colin and Samar, I believe, I hope I pronounced that right, have interviewed, the YouTuber Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So if you want to understand content creation, go watch Colin and Samar interview Mr. Beast 3 times. He's had him on a podcast, a long podcast, like 2 or 3 hours. I'm a YouTube guy and I watch all my stuff in like 1.25 or 1.5 speed.
Yeah.
I can't watch anything at like normal speed. I just don't got the time for it. But unbelievable, like that. You'll come out of those podcasts, you'll look at content completely different.
Okay.
Right. It's incredible what that guy knows. But I just believe in quality, right? Like, you can go film the property tour, bang 20 minutes, fly around at once, boom, post it, and do decent numbers, it'll work, and there's nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, if your whole goal is to lead gen and you've generated leads from that, well, then it's a win, right? It's a win. Doesn't matter if it got 5,000 or 10,000 or 2 million views, right? But if you generated leads, it's a win. Right?
Totally.
For me, I just believe in like a really polished video. I like things to look like solid. Like I want to be really proud of everything I put out there.
Yeah.
Right. So I spend my time in the editing. I spend my time, making sure it's smooth,
Nice
slow here.
voiceover,
Yeah. I
like,
spend your time on the script. Like, but that's just me, right? Like there's some ages that like I would never spend 8 hours on a video. Fair enough.
But let's be real now, right? Like people are putting out a lot of like videos and stuff like that right now. So like the demand for a better production valued product is much higher than it used to be.
I believe so.
Right?
I truly believe so. Right. So I think it has been like why, my videos definitely get a little bit better is because I spend the time, right? Like it's easier to watch something that's like nice and smooth and professional than it is to be like, what are we watching right now, right?
Or if the audio is not good and it's just some echoey guy in the back corner, you can't really hear him that much, and it's like 100%.
Right,
The lighting is not great, and
and then like I noticed like Edmonton, like for property tours, I mean, a shout out Brandon. He's another property tour guy in Edmonton. Amazing at what he does. Really, he's been such a good guy to me. Really nice guy. He's helped me along the way. But I just kind of noticed in Edmonton, like for short form content, there was nobody really, in my opinion, doing it correctly. And I don't mean that in like any harsh way to anybody that was doing it. I just think there's like the way I wanted to do it, which I believe is maybe the right way, maybe not the only right way, but one of the right ways. There was just nobody doing it like how I wanted to do it. So I was like, well, that seat's open. I want to go take that seat. So I just went and hopefully can continue to hold on to it. But I love it, right? But I think I tell a lot of people, like I think you guys can tell too, is like I'm super passionate about it.
Totally.
Like I love it, right? Like when I get to go film and do those videos and sit at the computer and edit, like it's like a highlight. I like it, right? So I think passion will always like beat hard work. But if you mix hard work and passion, like it's dangerous.
Totally.
Right? Like so it's
100%.
like
Which you've proved already, right?
so I love that aspect of it. I love getting to go film, right? So it's like I don't, there's agents that are like, fuck, I gotta go film today. Like, right? It's like I'm like, no, let's go. I'm excited, right? So
well, and when it's not your thing, it's not in your wheelhouse, the product doesn't come across very much because it almost seems forced, like especially scripted content now. Like that's the worst, is like getting there and you can tell somebody's been reading a script for 10 years trying to like learn it.
Get
right?
it?
Like and that world's tough. Like if you're not comfortable in it, maybe it's not your thing. Either you find comfort or find like something that is comfortable, because you can make content like come across authentic in any style of format. Like
100%.
You're doing short form format that like where you're on like a higher level. And then what I'll say is like if you follow Ben Lotes, Ben Lotes is long form video content
with really high production.
with high production and high comedy, and that skyrocketed his career. So it's not like one or the other is better, but you just have to be providing like a quality or an authentic feel to the video to get these followers. And his humor comes out in those, so that's why people are willing to watch 4 minutes of a property tour
For sure.
because they're entertained for 4 minutes.
I'll have to look into
have to follow
yeah,
him.
I have to see
He's
this.
huge.
Yeah.
He is
That's super cool.
Yeah, he's out of Spruce Grove.
Okay.
He crushes it. Like,
Wow. I want to see
He's
this.
been on our
that's really
podcast
good.
before.
Okay, now that you say the name, because I was looking the other day there. Okay, I'm gonna watch that pod too,
Yeah,
and then
it's funny. Actually, he broke into a house. That was his story.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
It's
And
pretty
you know what? Like, to be fair, I do want to like just anyone's watching like the views and the followers and like that's like it's all secondary. Like you got to ask yourself before you go in the social media rabbit hole. Like, what's your goal?
Yeah.
What's my goal with this? Like, my goal when I started this was to generate leads organically. Right. And now we've done that, and now I'm shifted. Like, okay, well, this is cool. I'm going to continue to generate leads, and now I want to continue to build my brand along the way. Right. But like I said, I get a lot of agents like that post like 10 times and like, oh, I got like 80 views. This one got like 1,000. Like, what the hell? This doesn't work. I'm like, go post 100 times. I was like, go post more, post more. Right. Yeah. This isn't an overnight thing. And like I said, don't read into the views. Screw the views. If you like, I promise you, one day you're gonna wake up. There's gonna be 3 message requests there. Yeah. People are gonna be like, "Hey, I saw this. I'm interested. Can we talk? Set up the meeting. Book the appointment. Go. Like now, go into your buyer consult, right, or your listing consult, right? Like, But like screw that. Like, don't worry about the views. Like, focus on the journey, right? Like, because it is social media is like it's a rabbit hole, man.
Yeah, it's practice.
Yeah, it is.
Every post
literally
like that
is
practice.
It literally is.
Like, take this for example, right? Like this podcast here, like. We don't get it. Like, we look at the stats of like the type of like the views and shit like that we get, and it's like it looks abysmal. Like, it literally looks like nobody watches this show, but yet all the time we are like out and about, or we're talking with realtors, or we're just like doing whatever, even just like friends and family, and they're like, "Hey, I love your podcast, blah blah blah, blah. Thanks for, you know what I mean, it was so funny, this and that." And we're just like, okay, well, people are watching it because they're obviously talking to us about it and shit like that, but like it doesn't show up on the statistics in like the different platforms that we post it in.
There's some weird fear of liking or commenting that a lot of people have, right? Like, I think so. It's like, I don't want him to know that I actually like him, right? Like,
it's so weird too. And like, you know what? I think we're all guilty of it too. Like, and I've actually like, I think in the last like 3 months, I'm really trying to get better at it. Like, because I'm seeing like a lot of realtors. I don't even Edmonton, but I'm trying to like nice tour, like, I'm trying to like comment, like get like a little bit. I don't know what it was. I was like, but like I always try now to at least like leave a comment, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok, like awesome tour, blah blah blah. Like, you know what I mean, just support. But like, I think we're all guilty of just like giving it a quick like fly by. Oh, that was cool. Like, even like if we watch the whole video, we'll just leave without a like, and it's like a like and comment or even a share can like really help like a lot of your friends. Like, it's like my friends out there, give me a like. If I know you, give me a like once in a while. You know.
Huge, right?
Well, it's funny. Like, it's like I'm not even joking. Like, I look at like some of my like Instagram stuff. I'm like scrolling. I'm like a lot of like the following that I've grown's like it. I'm like, where are like some of my buddies? I'm like, can you like I get like I'd still want you. Like, I wouldn't mind if you liked it from time to time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, show me a little love.
Give me something here, boys. Like,
listen, we're all in the instant gratification autopilot zone here. We're just take a stop.
It takes like 0.01 of a second
I know.
to hit that heart.
Move the thumb over.
But that's the thing, is it's called social media. It's not called like Peeping Tom media or creep on people media, right?
Peeping Tom media.
Like
that's the new platform.
Man, like, it's called social media. Like, say something.
Let's get social here.
Yeah.
Don't be shy. I know. And we're all guilty of it, right? Totally. So that's the best part. But I am trying to break that down. Like, especially I really want to start supporting a lot more of these realtors that like are like trying to get into it. I love it. I'm like, let's do it, because it's, if I've seen it work for me, like, I'm no freaking like, I'm not stupid, but like I'm not no genius here, man. Like, if it worked for me, I'm like, go and do it. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's actually awesome that you say that. And like, we've already done like a full hour of you just like sharing like super valuable information for people and stuff like that. So like, this is going to be wicked for people to actually come out and like take some of this info, and we can like cut this up and, you know, post it on Reels for people to actually like take some of this content and use it. Maybe some people will reach out to you, but I want to switch gears a little bit right now, and I want to talk to you just a bit about real estate, because we've been talking about marketing and all that kind of stuff for like a lot about this, but like a big portion of this podcast, what we do is we have like some funny, like we like to talk about like realtors about some of their experiences in real estate. And I know you've only been doing it for 10 months and you don't have much, but you did mention that you had some like some kind of entertaining stuff that happened to you at the beginning.
Oh yeah. So I guess, good real estate story would be kind of, that first showing, right? So kind of touched on it, you get that license, you're all excited. Hey, I got my license, I'm a realtor now, right? So sitting there, working for business as you do every day, you get up, you work, finally get this lead. They're excited. We're booking showings, right? So I book the showings, figure out how to do that, print off the sheets. I'm kind of, sweating bullets. I'm like, what do you do at a showing? I'm like, I'm like, no one really holds your hand. No one really holds your hand in the industry. And it is a simple thing, you're right. Yeah. But when you've never done it, you're like, what do I do here? So anyways, we get, so we had 4 showings booked, right? I'm pumped. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I'm really doing this now. And we get there to the first one. For the life of me, lockbox, can't get it. Not a clue, right? And that's such a classic, right? But especially when it's your first showing, they don't know it's my first showing, right? You're trying to act like the chiseled vet, like I've been around for a while, right? Like
it's just the technology.
That's what
down.
I kind of chalked that one up to like I looked and said, look, guys, lockbox must be dead. I was just like, unfortunately,
it happened.
Dead box.
Happened to me last week too.
Got to deal with this from time to time, right? So I was like, no worries. We'll move on to the next one. Sorry, guys. Like, we'll figure this out. No worries. Good thing we're taking 2 cars, right? So I get in my car. Bang. I'm on the phone right away. Call a good friend of mine. Like, brother, can't get it. Like, well, how do I do this again, right? So he gives me the crash course. And it was good, like, I don't know, like 6-7 minute ride. So I had time, like, kind of regain myself a little bit, deep breath. I'm like, okay, we got this lockbox, no problem. Get in there, works. Second listing, we see it, right? I'm like, perfect. So now I get in there and like, this is my first actual showing.
And now you're pumped.
Right? I'm like, yeah, we're doing this. So I'm giving them their sheets, 4 bed, 2 bath. I'm rocking this thing, right? We leave. It wasn't the house for them, no problem, right? We leave that one. All good, lock it up. I'm like, bang. First showing done. So we got 2 more to go, right? We get to the second, or sorry, this is the third house now. Get there, open the lockbox, no keys. I'm like, this isn't real, right? Like,
shit, I can't use the dead box. I'm like, what am I going with this time?
No keys. I'm like, this is an absolute disaster.
Yeah,
I just looked at it. I was like, guys, no keys.
There's not much to it, right?
What else are you gonna say, right? So now we're 1 for 3 on the day. Yeah. Like, these guys are looking at me like, this guy has no idea what he's doing, right? Like, so 1 for 3, we leave. I put that back in there. Like, thinking about it now, I probably could have just called the guy and been like, are these things hiding somewhere? Maybe. Yeah. And honestly, there's a good chance like it was probably like a code. There was no keys to the house, and like me just not knowing, like didn't like look for the code, like remarks or something, right?
Yeah. Or the realtor that showed it before you was halfway back to Leduc and felt something in their pocket. And they're like,
very true, very true. So there was that chance too, right? But I'll chalk it up to like me maybe just not knowing at the time, right? But so now we're 1 for 3 on the day. Like, it's not going great, but we're holding our own, and we go to showing 4 to wrap the day up and open the box. So we got the box down now, right? Like, so I'm feeling good. I'm like, I got these lock boxes. This is easy stuff, man. And I get in there, open it up, let them in. I'm the last one. I let them in the house. They walk in. Bang, cat. Gone. And it's man, like not just like it didn't just like this thing bullet out of the house, man, down the street. Yeah. And like, I'm not a cat guy. I'm sorry for you cat lovers out there.
Me neither.
I'm so allergic. I'm so allergic. So just not a cat guy at all. But they're like, well, now what? I'm like, well, I guess I go get that cat. So but like the problem was like, not an easy cat to get either. Like, I'm like, this is it, honestly, like at the time it felt like 30 minutes. It was probably a good 10 or 15 for sure of like trying to get this thing. Finally get it, right? Like, get it into the house, like slam the door, get the door shut. I'm not happy, right? And then I look and they're kind of like, yeah, so it would just like, they looked at me like, yeah, I can already tell like this one's not for us. It's like I was like, oh, okay.
I
Well,
just chased
glad.
this cat.
I'm like, so anyways, we get out of there. I got the cat. Everything was all good, but overall, just an absolute disaster of a day. I'll never forget
And
it.
that's your first day showing.
That was my first ever showing
first ever
ever,
showing,
right? Like
yeah.
landed my own lead,
Yeah.
was pumped. Like you know what was good though? Ended up working with the client. Not then. It took another like 2 months. So like we waited for some inventory and stuff, but saved the client. You know, got the deal done, and it was good. But
Made for a good story.
oh, disaster of a day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not good.
That's hilarious though, man, because like that, like even just that in itself might be enough to make some people just be like, this ain't for me.
Well, it's just like when you got those eyes on you too, like it was a family of 4, right? So mom, dad, two kids, right? And then just like everyone's just staring at you. Like you're the one that's supposed to know what's going on here, right?
Yeah.
Like you got 4 eyes just peeled on you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I don't know. No keys, guys.
There's a lot of pressure there, right?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, listen, we freaking took a day off, pulled the kids out of soccer practice, and we're here to look at these houses, and you can't get us in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just like sitting there, bullets, man. You're like,
Oh yeah.
And then he's just shaking, holding that lockbox. Please.
Dead box all the
Yeah.
time. It's like technology.
Oh man.
second one, you just must have been prancing
Yeah,
around
just
that
like-
house. You've been like,
Oh,
inside.
I was like, I've been here before. I'm like, this is light work, no problem. But so we went 2 for 4 on the day. So we're shooting 50%, and it was
pretty
hell
awesome,
of a
man.
day.
I think the first batch of like even like the first month of like your first showings are just awkward because you don't even know what to do. It's not like the course says you get in a house and you do this.
No,
right? Like
What do you do when you're in there?
Yeah, well, you get in there and like you're kind of like now we're in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And now we're in the living room. And then nowadays I'm just like, here's your
And then I answer questions.
Oh yeah, just now.
Okay, 1 sec.
And then
Double. Oh man, this is a long one today. That's
it's good though.
This is good.
You good? We're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back.
But yeah, like the first showings, it's just like you don't even know what you're doing. Like you don't know like what to do, and then
No. And that's the thing, and that's why like I'm super excited about this industry too, and the opportunity in front of me. Like young, I think even people like yourself, you guys have been in it a long time, but you're always learning, right?
always,
like
yeah.
you wake up, you're gonna learn something today new,
Yeah.
like real estate that you didn't know,
Yeah.
right?
You
So
never
it's
stop.
it's
Never
exciting.
stop.
you never stop. Like I'm doing way more education nowadays than I ever did when I started.
Than when you
right?
started,
Like I'm
yeah.
doing like it's constantly all around marketing. Like going and get my digital marketing certificate. It took like 10 months, but now it's like understanding all the other like small, like I'm doing Instagram courses, Facebook courses, TikTok courses, like anything like that, because it's all valuable to a realtor or anybody in business. Like this is where we're going, and you can cut your advertising costs down significantly if you just invest in yourself and learning it.
Yep.
If you want to do it, right? Of course.
Exactly. That's the
Yeah.
goal. That's the golden rule, right?
gotta
Like I
really
said,
do it,
it's like it's got to work for your business, right?
yeah.
And that's the cool thing too about this industry is your business looks a lot different than my business,
Totally.
right? And mine looks a lot different than the 4,000 other people running around doing this career here in Edmonton, right? So, like if it fits your business and you want to hop into the social, like I'm no pro, I'm no nothing, but like I love talking about it and I love doing it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it's super fun.
No, I think it's exciting, like having you guys in the younger generation coming in with a little bit more innovative takes on stuff, because it does challenge more of us that got more comfortable or routine, right? Like
Fair enough.
Like because now it's like, okay, the game is changing again, and a good agent will always adapts to the market, adapts to the marketing, like everything, right? The world is always changing, so it's nice when there's like a fresh take, and because it will push me and Rob to kind of rethink what we're doing, or like how we change what we're doing, because what we did is maybe now a little archaic, so now it forces us to learn and grow in a different way, which keeps us entertained. Like it keeps us engaged in what we're doing. So,
For sure. And I think the day you stop learning or you stop changing or trying to, like if you resist the change, like it's like you fall behind, right?
Totally.
Like you'll just fall behind, right? So it just is what it is. And like that's just the thing with this industry is like lots has changed, and real estate has changed a bit, but it's definitely one of those industries that's maybe a bit of a lagger, and it's just like stayed very much the same for many, many years, right? Totally. And I think I think we're just about there. Like, some of these new brokerage models, new marketing models, like it's really, I'm excited to see what the next 5-10 years says for real estate. I think it's going to be stirred and shaken up a few times for sure.
Oh, absolutely. It will be. Yeah.
And like, you make a good point too, like about like adapting and changing and always learning and stuff like that. And I think there's also an element to this industry about like like not just what to learn and like what and like, but like who to learn from, right? Because I think that there's a lot of people that get hung up on it. It's like, oh, well, I've been in real estate for this long, so I can't learn from somebody who's only been in the industry for 10 months. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what? I learned a shitload of stuff in real estate from you just in this hour-long conversation that we had, and I've been in real estate way longer than you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No, that's super
so
cool.
like
super
for
cool.
me to like people got to open up their minds to know that they can learn from anybody, whether they've been in the real estate business for 50 years or for 10 months. You know what I mean? Everybody's got some value to share, and like you said, there's lots of stuff out there, lots of information, and good people who are willing to actually like share the information.
Key.
Right?
Absolutely
because
key, right?
There's another old school mentality where people want to hold their cards close to their chest because it's like, oh, I don't want to give away my trade secrets. Well, you know what? Guess what? There's this thing called the internet where, that absolved trade secrets. There's no such thing as that anymore.
No, I think that's very true in this industry. Like, there's a lot of, people that just like don't want to share too much, right? And that's fine. Whatever, it is what it is. I'm not one of those people. What I do is not rocket science. And to be fair, I got this kind of feedback the other day, and about a month ago, like, JR, you're way too new to make a course or do something like that or teach people. I said, you're right. Maybe I'm too new to teach real estate, but I'm not teaching real estate. I'm just teaching you marketing. And I've been doing marketing long before real estate. Yeah. Right? Like, I've been doing this for many, many years, marketing in so many different components and so many different spaces, right?
But you have value to share in real estate too, man. You've closed a ton of deals.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got knowledge in that aspect too. So like, yeah, sure. Do you know everything about real estate? No, but you've done enough that you've actually got some value to share to somebody out there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, don't ever let anybody tell you that you're too new or don't have enough. If you feel confident in what you're doing and like if you've been through some shit, you know what I mean? Like, you could probably run a whole course on how to do your first day of showings now because you went through a shitload of shit on your first day. You know what I mean? So like, and that's valuable information for somebody out there. So, nobody can say what's valuable and what's not valuable to other people because you never know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, it's tough because like a new agent will come in and they will instantly kind of gravitate to the 25-year vet. Well, that 25-year vet, his system is based now on referrals because he's sold so many, right?
Doing it for so long, that right. Good for him, as it should be, right?
Yeah. So he's just going to pass on leads to this new person, but that new person isn't able to organically grow their own because they're just being hand fed, so they're not actually learning anything. Whereas if that new person took the approach of, hey, let me like research like people within their first year of real estate, who's kind of leading the way, who stands out. And let's just talk to them and have that quick conversation. And then, right, you built a business not on referrals. So you built it on video. So there's all different ways. So that these people need to just kind of refocus and like be like, who do I gravitate towards? Like, who matches my personality a little bit better? And doing something that I feel like I can do.
We'll genuinely follow up with what they say. I think there's a lot of yap in the industry, a lot of things, but you need to be around the right You need to be around the right people, man. That like when they look at you in the eye and they say, "I want to teach you this, I want to help you this," they're actually gonna fall through with it, right? I think we've maybe all fallen for that. Come here because we're gonna give you this XYZ, this. You get there, you sign the paper, and it's well, where is any of this that you see? You know what I mean, right? So just trust the people you're around, and all I would say really is like to any maybe newer agent, because I'm newer myself, is all I do is wake up every day. Like I said, it's in or on, but I just lead gen. Your only thing you should think in your head is, where's my next lead coming from? Where's my next business coming from? Right? If you're not thinking that way and you're so caught up in the anxiety of the paperwork, the lawyers, yes, that stuff's very important, but we can't stress about that until we know where we're going to get consistent lead flow from. And I don't care where you get your leads from, but if you don't have one tap or two taps turned on, I just turned on a second tap and it's been incredible, right? But I started with just this one tap and I'm going to the organic media, right? And I'm going to continue. And I've now turned on another tap. But you need to wake up every day in this industry and worry about where the next lead or potential deal is coming from.
100%.
100% agree, because real estate is experience-based education. That's how I found it, right? You learn how to do the job when you're doing the jobs, but you can't do the job if you don't have anybody to do the job with. So there's which is super important, which you're not really taught in getting the license. So that is something that you have to go, I find, and outsource how to, or get educated on different routes, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's like the number one thing when anybody like comes into real estate is like kind of forget about what you learned, because you can't really use that tool yet. Let's jump into this.
Yeah, right? Like I think that's why like we've talked so much about the marketing, but that's how much emphasis I will put on how important it is in this industry to make a stand.
It's really the only thing, right? Like I tell new agents when they come in, I say your success and or failure of this business will depend on one thing and one thing only, and that's your ability to generate leads. Mm-hmm. If you cannot generate leads, if you cannot find a way to generate leads, people to buy or sell houses, you will not do anything. That's the whole business, right? It's like, I know that's really oversimplifying it, but the reality is that is what it is. Your lead generation is your job.
And there's so many ways to do that, right? So you gotta you business plan, and that's what I did, and that's why I was able to maybe hit the ground running and hopefully continue to run and sprint throughout the years here. Totally. But you sit there and you break it down from that scale of, okay, where am I going to get leads? Okay, so sphere, social. Okay, but social breaks down into 6 categories. What do these categories look like? What am I going to post? Then you got paid promotion, Facebook ads, right? Like, what ones do you want to do? You can't tackle them all, right? So pick a couple, bear down, and go do it, right? Go hammer it hard, right?
I've always looked at that the same way. Is pick 2 that you're just going to focus on. Like it's better to be great at 2 things than mediocre at 6.
Right. And there's too much noise out there nowadays, right? Like everybody wants to everyone wants to reach in your pocket for something, right? Like especially like with paid and stuff, right? So paid's great. It's one of the tabs I just turned on with a colleague of mine over at EXP there, and he runs an incredible system with paid, but it's very, very good. It's very good, but you need to make sure you're around the right person that knows how to actually generate qualified leads.
Exactly. Right?
Or you just take that money and go throw it down the drain, right?
Fuck, man, there's so much shit that I want to talk to you about. Like literally, like, but we have to end this at some point.
Yeah, we got to shut it down. It's getting out of control here.
I actually think we should do a part 2 with you though. If you're down for it, because like there's like I want to talk to you about like. I do want to tap into like what's your plan with all your clients that you've already sold houses to, and like that.
Yeah, that'd be super
and,
cool.
Like, all that kind of stuff, because like my business has been created from a totally different platform than you guys.
Yeah.
Right. Like the way that I grew my business is like the opposite of that. Right. So, I would love to get like your feedback on that, but I think we should do a part 2 if you're down for it.
Whenever. It'd be a blast. This was awesome. So
cool.
Happy to be here.
Before you go though, we always like to do like a good human nomination on the podcast.
Absolutely.
We kind of teed you up for that. So, you have somebody that you want to
Yeah, absolutely. Brad Smith out of Sherwood Park, local realtor, but sells all over, but just a standout guy, someone that helped me, getting started. It was kind of between, him and another team, and should have followed my gut, because my gut was screaming Brad all day, and ended up going the other way. And even going the other way, he's just been just a great guy, realtor, incredible realtor, and just an even better guy. So couldn't have picked a better person with Brad there. Yeah, he's awesome.
So so for you, it was like he just helped you like get like a lot of shit in the business. Like,
just understanding it. Like nothing was in it. Obviously, he obviously wanted me to just maybe come over there and help him and his team, and it just never lined up, because when I did leave that team, I took on the solo agent, and now I'll never look back. Right, I love being that, and we're actually starting my own real estate kind of team over there too with EXP. So, But no, Brad's just a really solid guy. I could call him even for questions, answers. He's always there, and just a really good guy, man. Awesome. Like he's there for anybody, and great realtor too. So
that's great.
That's good. Yeah.
That's good.
We do need more of those realtors out there. I haven't had the privilege of doing a deal with Brad, but I've seen the name out there. So it's really
solid guy. Yeah,
good. Yeah, it's good to know. Yeah, we always want to like expand and. You know what I mean? It's great. I love it when realtors nominate other realtors too. Yeah. Like that just pumps me up, because like that like we talked about at the beginning of this podcast, you know what I mean? We need more like conformity with each other and just like, you know what I mean, to have better relationships, especially with like realtors from different brokerages and things like that, right? I know there's some mentalities where they feel like, oh, we work at a different office, so we need to be competitors.
Yeah,
shit,
I
right?
just can't wrap my head around it.
It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? At the
Maybe
end of the
it's
day,
just
we're all doing the same job.
I don't know if that's like an old school thing, and I'm sure we could get into this for a
Yeah.
long time. Like, I think there's a lot of old school things that, again, 5 to 10 years from now won't maybe be around, because like any person I've done a deal with that's, you know, maybe a bit younger than my age a little bit, it's been awesome. You know, like open communication, we're getting this done, we're happy, you know, little hiccup happens here, hey, no problem, let's take care of it, let's get this sorted. You know, little hiccup happens like with another agent, it's like, well, we're non-waivers coming, oh, let's work through this. We don't need to, you know what I mean? So, no, it's been good though.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up, man. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate
that's
you.
huge.
Thanks for having me.
taking
This was
the
fun.
time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think a lot of agents will get a lot of education out of that one. So
This
awesome.
I think
packed, man.
yeah.
This is packed. I don't even know that we'll be able to make enough freaking reels to fill out there. We can make reels from this episode for 3 months. Probably.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate your time and
Anytime.
sharing everything, stuff like
Absolutely.
that. And I definitely think we should have you on for part 2.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right. Peace.